Now we go to Wichita, Kansas, where Julie's on the line. Julie, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Thank you very much for taking my call.
Sure. How can I help, Julie?
Well, my husband's company was sold in May, and we're 63 years old, and he's been in the insurance business for 30 years in the sales field. And he's energetic. He doesn't have any health problems. They had a career counselor that gave him assistance on several phone calls with resume and LinkedIn. He's done everything she has told him to do, and he's gotten 2 or 3 face-to-face interviews, and a couple of them said, "You're perfect for this job. I know you can do a great job." And then a week later, he gets a letter saying, "We've decided to fill a position from within." He's had probably 4 or 5 phone interviews, and he loves the sales field. He had his own agency for about 15 months with a captive life insurance company, and that was very difficult. But he's been a regional sales manager in crop insurance for the last 5 years, and he loves that industry. So we don't know how to overcome this. He's watched webinars on ageism. We just don't know how to overcome this.
Yeah. Well, I'm just curious if this lady that's been coaching him, did she talk to him about really diving deep into his personal connections and acquaintances to overcome the sight unseen kind of show up interview where he's just a part of the group? We're going to run everybody through this filter. Has she talked about how to overcome that and try to get highly recommended, and so that when he walks in, he's not being judged potentially by age, even though we don't know that he is? You're assuming that he is, and I understand that does happen. I'm not suggesting that. I totally understand that. But the way to overcome that is through relationships, to where he's being so highly recommended to fill the need that's not an objective, well, let's weigh him against a bunch of other people we don't know anything about. Because think about this. When he's interviewing on the phone or he's gotten those face-to-face interviews, if he hasn't been endorsed after being introduced by somebody that works in that company that has some relationship with that hiring manager, then he's on the same level as everybody else. And all those people know is what they've been able to glean in the interview. And then that's where the age thing could enter in. And unfortunately, and I mean this, unfortunately sway somebody another direction. So at 63, he can't be on the same level of playing field as everybody else. He's got to have the deep relationship connection to where he's been so highly endorsed after being personally introduced that he has a leg up going in, and then the age thing doesn't even come into play.
Well, he knows a couple of CEOs, and he's asked them about their contacts. Yes, she did discuss that with him quite a bit and said that was extremely important. That was critical. So he's delved into that as much as he can, but he's finding a couple of people. One guy he's known for 40 years, and everyone, my husband has a reputation of great worker, a man of integrity. He's respected, in our church and in the insurance. I mean, he doesn't, well, anyway, he's contacted former bosses, and it's just like nobody wants to stick their neck out for anybody anymore. And this one particular person knew someone at this other company, and he thought maybe he could get him to make a phone call or even just to send him his resume. And this guy just wouldn't do it. And he's called his crop insurance, peers that he knows, and one of the guys said, well, if you call me back, if you ever get into a bind, you lose a job, you call me and I'll do what I can. Well, he doesn't have any positions now. And then he's forwarded a resume for him. So we're just kind of running into roadblocks in that area.
I get it. I'm not suggesting that it's going to be easy, Julie, but I'm telling you, you're not going to like my response, but he has to do more of the right thing. And it sounds like you're doing some of the right thing, but you can't get too discouraged and too down when we're in this kind of a game. And there are people, unfortunately, who will not do what you're asking them to do. It's unfortunate.
Right.
It bothers me just like it bothers you. but there are people who will. And he's got to keep working those acquaintances. And he also is going to have to broaden the search, because I appreciate the industry that he wants to be in. But the reality is he's got so much experience and so many skills that are transferable in other industries. And Julie, here's what he has to hear. And this is going to make him uncomfortable. But if we were on the phone, I'd tell him this. I would say, you've got to broaden your search. But you're just kind of playing in one field and things aren't going your way. And what happens if you do that, you start to feel like everything's stacking up against you, and then you can't see clearly anymore. And I feel like it's happening to you. And what we got to do is we got to say, all right, let's knock everything down, all the things that have gone against us, and let's go, okay, we've got to increase our chances by broadening the search. And he could sell, lead, do a lot of different things in a lot of different industries. And here's the reality of where we sit in the job market right now, Julie. We still, even with everybody in the news starting to say that there's a recession that might come, I'm so sick of all this Chicken Little crap. Here's the reality. We still have more jobs available in America than there are people who are unemployed. Your husband, he is valuable enough. I don't care if he's 63 or 13. The fact of the matter is there are companies who need quality people to fill roles right now. He's got to find those companies and those positions where they don't care how old he is. They care that he's got the experience and the skill set to come in and help them win. You got to find the people that need him, not just look for people that he knows and go, do you have a place for me? No. You keep looking for places that need somebody and they don't have quality candidates. And when he finds that, he's going to find his opportunity. Now, I know that's not crazy positive, but I can tell you this, it's crazy true. So he needs to be looking in places where there's multiple jobs open and they don't have 75 candidates. They don't have 7. They need somebody with experience that can jump in day one and help them win. That's what he's got to be looking for. And it may not be in his industry. Now, he keeps rinsing and repeating all the other things that he's been doing and what I told him to do. But he needs to expand the search.